Juan Jimenez is a 50-year-old rancher who has come into a dental clinic with an abscess. He is screened positive for tobacco use on the brief screen and has also said that he drinks 14 to 18 beers a week on a regular basis. The dental hygienist, Maria Gomez, will be talking with him about his tobacco and alcohol use.
Mr. Jimenez, thank you very much for answering our questions about your tobacco, alcohol, and drug use. There are just a few things that I'd like to go over with you before we begin. According to the answers on your screening, you've been chewing tobacco daily for many years, and you also say that you usually have 14 to 15 alcoholic beverages every week. Is that correct?
Yeah, I can't remember when I didn't chew, but I just drink 2 or 3 beers at the end of the day, nothing like an alcoholic beverage. Why? Is there something wrong with that?
Maria must provide feedback to Juan about the risks associated with both his drinking and his tobacco use. If you were Maria, how would you provide feedback about the dangers of tobacco use?
I want to talk with you about your tobacco use because you're being seen here at the clinic today with a pretty bad abscess, and I'm concerned that your tobacco use is going to lead to more dental issues and maybe even some very serious health problems in the future.
I don't buy into all that stuff. My father chewed tobacco and had a couple of beers every day until he was 90. You know how he died? Peacefully in his bed. No cancer, no liver disease. Chewing tobacco it's not like smoking. It doesn't get down to your lungs. And beer. Oh, there's not enough alcohol in beer to do any harm. It's probably safer than drinking the water.
So then what connection do you see between your tobacco use and the abscess that brought you into the clinic today?
I don't see a connection. It's an abscess, yeah, it hurts like crazy, but well, don't people who don't chew tobacco get abscesses too? My cousin had one just last month, and he quit chewing 10 years ago when he got married. His wife made him do it.
Maria's feedback to Juan didn't go over very well. He's heard it all before, but doesn't believe that either his drinking or his tobacco use will hurt him. Maria wants to know more about any other health issues that Juan has experienced. How would you ask a question that gets him to tell you about his health?
It's true that people who don't use tobacco sometimes get abscesses. Describe for me how your health has been in general over the couple years since you were last at the clinic.
My health. Well, let me just tell you, it's no fun getting old. These doctors, they want to put you on all kinds of medicines and charge you all kinds of money just to tell you you're going to croak someday. My bad cholesterol is too high. My good cholesterol is too low. I need to cut back on my drinking, but increase my exercise. I tell you, it's a bunch of hooey. As long as I can do a good day's work, go to sleep at night, and get up again in the morning, I figure I'm okay. Yeah, so I get a cold now and then. That's nothing. If I believed that tobacco or the alcohol were making me sick, I'd quit right now. Well, after my wife heard what the doctor said, she begged me to quit both tobacco and alcohol. And I did cut back drinking for a while. Well, as for my chewing, it stayed the same. My wife can be pretty persistent when she gets an idea in her head, but she means well. We've been together for 32 years, married right after graduation, and she's still my high school sweetheart.
It sounds like your wife was concerned about your health. That's great that you're willing to cut back on your drinking to put your wife's mind at ease. What made you decide not to cut back on the chewing?
Well, I've always chewed, and I never saw a problem with chewing until my doctor told me to quit. Plus, chewing doesn't affect me like alcohol does at times. My wife says I get a little grumpy when I drink too much. And now that I think about it, she also doesn't like the smell of alcohol and chew on my breath at the end of the day. She says I smell like a tobacco pipe, and she hates the spitting. She would be happier if I quit chewing and cut down on my drinking.
How would you reflect back to the patient what he has just said in a way that demonstrates the discrepancy in what Juan has just told you about his habits and his desire to please his wife?
So it is important to you to make your wife happy and to possibly avoid health issues from developing. Yet you feel that cutting back your alcohol use would help, but that there is no need to change your chewing. I have a scale here that I'd like for you to look at, and it goes from 0 to 10. If 0 is not at all confident that you can quit using tobacco, and 10 is 100% certain that you can quit on your own, where do you see yourself in terms of being able to make this change? And with the alcohol, how confident are you that you can cut down?
Well, I know I will have trouble with tobacco, so I'd say I'm a 4. And with the alcohol, I would say about a 7 because I have done that before.
Juan has admitted that he would probably have difficulty completely quitting his tobacco use, but that if he has to do it to avoid upsetting his wife, he would try. How would you use an open-ended question to explore Juan's reasons for giving himself a 4?
4 is good, Juan. Why did you rate yourself a 4 instead of a lower number like a 2 or a 3?
Well, now that I know that my health could be at risk because of my chewing and thinking about how my wife really doesn't like it, I want to try to quit because it means so much to her. I don't want her to worry about me all the time. I'll just go home and toss the rest of my chew.
That sounds like a good plan, Juan. Your wife will be very happy to hear your plan. Now, for the alcohol, you chose a 7. Why did you choose a 7 and not a lower number, like say a 5?
Well, because I have cut back before, and I think that cutting back is a lot easier than quitting. I'll just limit myself to 2 or 3 beers and not drink every day.
Well, it sounds like this has worked for you in the past and you're pretty confident you can cut back on your drinking.
How would you suggest to Juan that because he scored himself lower on confidence in his ability to quit using tobacco, he might want to talk to his doctor about some pharmaceutical aids to assist him?
I'm glad that you've decided to cut down your drinking and to quit tobacco. While you're confident that you can cut down on the alcohol, you seem a little less confident about quitting tobacco. I'd like to suggest that you follow up with your doctor to ask about some of the nicotine replacement medications they have that can help you, through that stage of quitting.